Trustee Brown? Here. Trustee Burgess?
Here.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Supervisor Zammer?
I'm here.
Clerk's here.
Let's stand and do the pledge to the flag.
Y'all in the newspaper too?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The meeting that I called to order is a budget hearing. We will have a budget hearing and till around 7:12, and then we will ask that the budgets be adopted. But we'll have to give people time to give comments. So if anybody has any comments on the budget, feel free. I think that we did put a couple extra budgets on the table.
Yeah, I did, Jim.
If you want to take a look at it, you didn't get a chance to.
I mean, you got that from minute 7:12.
Well, I think it's 3 minutes to do it.
No, 7:12.
No, I want to be precise.
3 seconds.
Give you, time. Okay. Nobody has any specific questions, then we could just talk among ourselves. Where am I in the paper?
It might be something nice, I just saw it. I just happen to see our names in there. Let me alert you. You're on page 4
Which one?
of the Southland.
Yeah, but which
What
one
is
is on?
it? The red, we want the red writing.
Yeah, the one with the red
Oh,
light.
okay.
April 1st, 2015.
Page 4?
Yeah,
All right.
the last column. Oh, it looks like, it might be nice because Mr. Harris will.
I think that lady's about the lawsuit.
I don't know, I'm still reading it.
I see everything. Yes, I see it. He has it wrong. He said, I've been a resident in University Park since 1972. I've been a resident since 1971.
No, he said,
Excuse the chairman
Misquoted.
called redo the paper.
No, he was saying what all the people that have worked on that and they're still around the area, basically. Yeah, he came to the school, we went to the school meeting last night and they were having a reduction in force meeting, but before that, they had a public hearing so, Jim was standing up and the people that were in contention against what our lawsuit did, the University Park lawsuit against the school district that was settled 20 years ago now, is that about right?
Almost.
And now people are trying to take it back to court and undo everything that was done, and so far, I believe they've lost in all the courts, and they just lost in the appellate court the other day, so, and he basically stood up and just told everybody, hey, we're still here. All the people that run my committee are still around. So, if necessary, we will get back into the fight of it. So,
well, let me ask you something. I understand the school board is paying their attorney to represent
school.
the school's interests in their lawsuit. Who's paying opposition? That's a personal expense on that part?
That has to be publicly put out by the plaintiff, and to my knowledge, that number has not been put out by law.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, here's a picture so you can look at while we're waiting. This is a picture of our youth night the other night showing the arts and crafts that was started that Willa and Karen, Maurice's wife, were working with the children on doing arts and crafts and that. And I think they probably sounded from what Willa said, it sounded like they had as much fun as the kids did.
Karen said, show me how to do that. Talking about my grandkids. Show me that, talking about the rubber band thing.
Did you take that picture with your little camera? Take some
And
picture.
so my granddaughters use their fingers, putting the loops and the knots with it. But they also have a little contraption that you can use, and with the little stick that you can use. She said, I want to use this. But she was enjoying it. She was having fun doing that. Wow. The kids, they were making rings just like that.
Yes, they had a good time.
They had a good time, and the younger ones, they had a good time making
Yeah, that's.
animals, you know, putting the little styrofoam, well,
We just have
spongy like
little complex.
things, and then making animals, peeling off the eyes and sticking them in there, so. And you can look on there, they had a good time. They did.
Let's keep that going, because I know, my wife does a good job at the kids at church.
So I told her to stop by and see if she wanted to order something different too, because they were having so much fun, they made like 3 different things.
Wow.
Choose of all the kids
Yeah, the kids did.
that we bought.
Yeah.
That's great. Let her know she's a star at the meeting tonight. I did have a question with the budget. Are we talking about it?
Well, yeah, we're supposed to be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dave, this is for you, for the budget and appropriation order, just tentative. The first sheet there, just need clarity on that fund item number 4200, the circuit court fines, $1,000. What was that about, David?
Overweight trucks, speeding vehicles,
Overweight trucks?
any fines that goes to the court.
Okay, so those are on us?
That happens on our roads.
Oh, it happens on our road?
Yeah.
They give him money.
Yeah.
So we get the money?
That's why it's on revenue.
Revenue.
That's under
Yeah,
the other
yeah.
here, actually.
Yeah,
where-
Okay.
that's where it comes from.
Okay, I
Yeah.
know how we can get on the revenue. If I see a truck, I pour a brick in there.
Yeah.
Beat it, put some weight in there.
You on camera.
That comment was made by James Young.
They know the difference.
I didn't realize David's budget,
I know it's
They
stand
know
alone.
the difference.
David's
know.
budget is difficult to compute because for the auditor, we have to count in the motor fuel tax that is held by Will County. But because it's held by Will County for us to be used for projects that they agreed to do for David, then we have to count it in our budget. So it's always a problem. And then the other problem with David's budget is that if you notice that the property tax that comes in, and then there's a municipal share that we have to get back. So that takes away, I mean, it always looks like you've got a big budget to start with, but then you have to take away what we have to give back to University Park and Monee and part of our forest and
Frankfurt.
and a little bit of Richmond Park too.
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, okay,
Frankfurt, yeah.
Frankfurt. And so, and so then down here where it says motor fuel, I say, I want it very clear, these taxes are held by the county. And that, I'm figuring what he has in there now is $35,281. And but we're assuming that there's approximately $87,000 that he'll get this coming year, or not, and that includes this, so, whatever, 87 minus 35, is what we assume will be coming in. But it's listed there rather than up here in beginning balance, which is actually cash that's in the bank.
I see.
So that we don't get any confusion as to what's our money and what's actually Will County's money that is being held for us. So, as I said, his budget is always a little bit more difficult than the regular budget, just because we have to figure in all those little things.
Okay, great. Don't take this the wrong way, David. You are the epitome of what a highway commissioner should be. I just want to let you know, okay? So, but on page 2 of your budget, just want clarity on these salaries. 5,000 item, you got 125,000. And that's for.
Under the maintenance,
Yeah,
But then-
under the maintenance. And, it has salary, it has expenditures. The 125,000 is for just you, Paul, and Brian.
Yep.
And only $10,000 out of his salary, because that was voted in by the last board, that they, and so it's $44,000 comes out of our township budget. As far as salary, the township budget pays for all the salaries of all the officials, with the exception of the $10,000 that comes out of David's
That's why I was
budget in
kind
there.
of confused on that.
Trustee salaries all come out of mine, so when you see where it says expenditures, administration, that's, includes all the trustee salaries, Sandra's salary, David's salary, mine and the clerks, everybody.
Okay.
And then the only portion of the salary that comes out of David's budget is David's $10,000, and that was put in and voted that way by the last board before we took office.
Maybe I undo it. Oops.
No, he does a good job, you don't want him not to do a good job.
Thank you. That's okay.
Okay,
That's all I have.
I think we are close enough to the end of our hearing, and anybody else have any questions? Then I would like to see then a motion to adopt the 2015-2016 road district budget and appropriations ordinance.
So moved.
Moved by Marie. I need a second here. Second by Terry. Any further questions on the road district budget? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Deborah.
Yes. All right, I'd like a motion then to adopt the 2015-16 general town budget and appropriations ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah. Any further questions on the budget? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Deborah.
Yes. All right, is there a motion to adjourn the budget hearing? Moved by Debbie. Is there a second to adjourn the budget hearing?
Second.
Second by Maurice. Any discussion on that? Seeing none, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess, trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Deborah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And see, I'm just about right on time, so 7:15, we are starting our regular scheduled meeting, will be called to order. Yeah, it's all
Something else.
Roll call vote, please. Regular meeting.
We got 10 seconds.
Trustee Bowles, trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess, trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Deborah.
Yes.
Clerk.
Okay, everybody check your minutes. On the table, there was an extra sheet. Bobby had placed I only put the page 1, gave you a corrected sheet because he had listed Deputy Assessor Rebecca Babbert as being there, and she wasn't. And
And
so,
I caught that too.
and I caught that and called him on it. So he questioned that I was correct, and so he was giving it to the sheet.
So
So that's,
You're too late, you're too late.
Well, I will not complain about that period you missed
You're
there.
too late. Yeah, complain about it.
okay, did anybody have any changes, any problems that you would have, any corrections?
Other than that, Bob, you did a great job.
What period?
I would save it for next month.
All right. Anybody else have anything, or do we have a motion to accept the minutes as written? Moved by Debbie,
Second.
second by Maurice. Moved and seconded to accept the minutes as written. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
Trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
Supervisor Everett.
Yes. Okay, public comments? Any public comments? Jeff will be talking to us later, once we come to the computers. Supervisor's report. The general assistance report, we have two. And we have the March 20th through the March 31st end of the report. We have 4 intakes, 3 applications, 0 flat grants, 0 other aid, 9 pantries, 0 denied, 2 pending, 1 terminated. The 6 are still on GA. We spent a total amount of general assistance 0 in that period, and emergency assistance $500. So the total for March 12th to March 31st was $500.
I do have a question. I believe if memory serves me right. Last month, we had 0 denies, right? So I can find your sheet. And this month, we have thus far
0 denied.
6 deniers, I thought. So-
No, 0 denied on this one. This is 5, but that's on the
Oh, 5.
April. We're talking about the March 12th through the March 31st report.
Okay, so I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the April 1st report is 1 intake, 1 application, 0 flat grants, 0 other aid, 0 pantry, 5 denied, 3 are still pending, and 0 terminated. 6 still on general assistance. We spent $911 on GA, 0 on emergency assistance, for a total of $911 for the period of April 1st through April 9th.
Yeah, I know you cannot get into the real specifics of the denial, but it just kind of stood out. We just started a new fiscal year, April 1st, and then we have 5 denials. And
It's probably, and I'm probably willing to correct me, but usually it's, you have these people that are denied for several reasons. They're either over income, they don't meet the income guidelines, then more likely is that they did not complete their applications. They'll come in and then we give them the list, which is pretty long, of all the documentation that we need to be able to make a decision. And many times they don't come back after that first time, or if they they say, oh yeah, I would bring those in, and then we don't see them. They have, 30 days to bring them in, and if they're not back in
Sometimes I
30
give them longer than 30 days.
so with that being said, the denials, the pending, could be included in the denials?
Correct.
Okay, okay. So on this April, we have 5 denials and 3 pending. Some of those that have been denied could be still awaiting to get approved.
Correct.
Okay.
And if they come back after that 30 days,
Mhm.
then they have to start the entire application process all
30 days.
over again. Because, that's the law, and we do everything the same for everybody. That's one of the things that VA does, and that we're very, very careful of. That we, make sure that who we do for A, we do for B. And so, we have the 30 days, and if they don't have everything in, and when they come in, we start a new application with a new date on it.
Now, a reviewer of those applications, are you standing on that? Well,
No.
Will is the original person that does all the intakes and does everything and looks at it and makes the recommendations. I review every file.
Everyone.
Right, and if I have a question, then we figure it out and go from there.
Do we look into fraudulent acts in any manner?
As much.
And do we report to the authority if something just stands out, or get Joe involved, or no?
I've not seen, we have not, thank the Lord, we've not had any.
Just something obvious, not searching for
But
it,
if,
something
well, if
just,
something stands out, then
Yeah.
we have to report it. That's-
Okay.
By law, we have to report it. So,
I mean, what you have are small things, and they're not small things for us, but
Yeah.
it's just where somebody has been living with a cousin. And then, a letter, will send them a letter, and the letter will come back, and they'll say, well, no, that cousin doesn't live with me anymore, he's now living in Chicago Heights. And then that person might come in the door and say, oh, well, I'm still with my cousin. And we go, oh, no, you're not. But I don't
we have
think
to
we
have
necessarily.
verification.
Right, we have to verification.
They have to have a letter,
Right.
We have a form for them to send, take back to the person that they're living with or was living with. The person that they was living with, they have to fill that form out and sign that form and say that this person is still living at this residence, at this address. And then we can continue the process with that person. But if not, then we have to terminate that person.
Is it a form that's approved by judge?
The form that's approved by the general assistants. And we have a huge book like this that comes from Florida. I'm sorry, it's not Florida, TOI, Township Officials Illinois, the Gaddy section. And Will and I were just down for a day training down in Bloomington, last week. Yeah, and we went down for another training, and because there's always updated rules, regulations, state laws, and things like that, so we try to do at least once a year to make sure that we're up to date with everything. The Gaddy people are going to redo their entire training manual, bring everything up to date, but right now there are specific forms that we use. As I said, we do everything the same. There's a form that we give them that says these are the documents you need. You know, if they're denied or there's another form, we say you're denied because this is the reason, and that's sent out to them. If they're accepted, then they get a form that says, yes, you are now accepted, and you know, we send them their check, and you must come back every month, and they have to re-verify, you know, show us that they're still out of a job, there's still this, there's still that. And also with the general assistance people, we actually expect them to do either community service or show that they've been looking for jobs.
They have to do both.
And they have to do
both.
Right, have to do both. And so it's not like we're just, I mean, it's not a lot of money.
Sure.
We give it for a general GA person, $245. Some get a little less if they're getting housing. Some of them have paid housing, you know, through the housing systems. That would be then deducted from that 245, and they might get 193 or something like that. So, you know, there's different things, but 245 is the most. And it's not a lot.
No, it's just taxpayers' money.
Right, taxpayers' money.
They're reasonable barriers
Right.
in
We
place
do due
too.
diligence with it, and we try to stay on top as much. If somebody is absolutely going to come out and, you know, forge all the documentation, there's not anything we can do about it. But, you know, we do the best we can.
Okay, good. Keep up the good work.
All right, thank you. Good. The senior, we just had our senior luncheon here on Wednesday, which was really nice, and the pictures I think I circulated around the table were there, and they really had a good time, and they had a guy named Frank Rossi, who came in and entertained, and everybody enjoyed him. Our next spring, the next luncheon for the seniors is the spring fling luncheon. No, that's not
That was it.
correct.
Salute to the flag.
That's a salute to the flag, and it's on June 12th. Salute to the flag is the next one.
Okay, on the seniors, we have just one quick comment. Can I comment? On the
Sure.
seniors? We have some sharp-minded seniors out there. Sure all of you are aware of. It's very astute-minded and brilliant, to say the least, and we want to keep those minds continue to be active and ready at the snap of a pop of a finger. So can we involve some, in addition to our programs that we have for seniors, something to keep their minds active, you know?
For people that want to, and there are some of the seniors that come to our senior events also, there is a pinnacle group that comes in on Tuesdays
Okay.
and Thursdays here, which, and there's nothing that keeps people's minds sharper than playing cards. And there is a group, they have about 4 or 5 tables every time. And that is, you know, they run it themselves and they do that. And if anybody wants to come in and join them, you know, they welcome them. I mean, I've never seen them turned away. They even asked me if I wanted to play. I said, oh, I used to play bingo, you know.
Well, it just brought to my attention that, you know, seniors may want speakers to come in and talk about the history of the township and you know, things of that nature, you know.
I'm afraid that I leave all of that up to the senior committee.
Okay.
It's the senior, you know, if these people are interested in that, they should come to the senior committee. Willa can call Willa, and Willa can tell them and find out when the next one is. They are looking for people.
Okay.
because a lot of people have been on it for a long time and are starting to feel a little frail. So they are really looking for some new blood to come in. If you know that, I would suggest that you ask them, because the people that are there right now are mainly concerned with having fun events, you know, getting everybody a free lunch and having some entertainment, and then they play bingo afterwards, and that seems to be a formula that is working for them. They have had a few speakers in the past. We've had the fire department policemen come in talking about, you know, fraud and scams, and you know, so they have had a few informative programs, but they're fewer than than just the pure entertainment. But every now and then they do throw some of those in. So if we've got some people that are interested in working on that committee, then I'm sure they could maybe sway the group to help organize some of that.
Have you lowered the age yet? Is it still-
65 over. No, sorry. That didn't
I
happen.
feel like it's up there.
Yeah, I fit right in there. Okay. Easter 2015, we had 6 families that made applications, and there were 9 children altogether that received their very gaily decorated baskets that Willa puts together, and she always does a really good job with it, so we have to thank her for that. All right, I don't have anything else. Clerk's report.
Well, you know, the elections are over. We had elections on the 7th. Also, the annual town meeting, the announcement, the notice was posted at 4 different places in the township, and it was published, the notice was published in March 27th, Southtown Star. I missed the deadline for, well, the record learned, it was actually Friday after the meeting. We had, on Tuesday, we had 13 electors to attend the annual town meeting, and our own Supervisor Datman was chosen as moderator. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Who nominated her?
I could say that.
No, I mean,
That's all that.
Okay. Highway Commissioner report.
Last night I attended the Bull County Highways County meeting, and we had discussion over there about they're going to have certain meetings here for Will Connects 2040. It's a long-range plan for highways, byways, and all that good stuff. We're going to have 4 places. The place that is going to be the most best for us is going to be Governor State University, the Hall of Honors, and University Park, and that's going to be May the 12th, from 4 to 7 p.m.
In University Park?
Yes, I'm sure you'll get more.
At GSU, you said?
Pardon?
At GSU?
Yeah.
What time?
4 to 7. There'll be more information out on this thing. I got it's a 3-page deal. We also discussed certain bills that are coming up. There's all kinds of bills coming up, trying to do away with the assessor and the highway commissioner and township in general. And this last one that just came up. In fact, Bruce School, our county engineer, didn't even know anything about it. One woman from Joliet saw 3 snowplows on the road going down the same township, state, and municipality, and she says, well, that's too many snowplows. We got to do away with one of those government agencies. That's just too much overlap. And so she put a bill in the hopper to make it so that the Will County voters can vote on this. That hasn't even been passed yet. It hasn't even been brought down to the session. So there's been many of those in the last 2-3 years. That's been coming and going, but they just keep on going. We talked about meetings because we had those tier 2 already. But Frankfurt and Lockport townships, they had over 120 plus at their meetings. Frankfurt just was a group of people that just, he said they didn't even know what they were talking about. They were just came out and asked a whole bunch of questions about it. He says, you know, that's why it's important the township government keeps talking, keeps educating people so that they know what's going on. In Lockport, they were going to put up a new building for $6 million, so that obviously would bring people out. And then, I don't know, at a night session, I guess, the state legislature went and raided motor fuel tax money, $50 million, and they took $250 million out of the highway fund to balance the budget.
How do they do that?
Well, good question. That's what they did, see? Motor fuel tax money is specified who can spend, how it's gotta be spent. And they came along and took 50 and then 250 million. So that will affect, I can't believe this, but this is what he told me, Bruce, affect 1 month's allotment to us, like to me.
Which is about $200 or something. Like that.
Just half.
Half of that?
Half of that, for just 1 month. And I thought, well, I thought it would be for probably 3-4 months, but
Right.
he says, 1 month to take care of it, so. But that's just what they did, so.
Now, how much would that affect us? How much money a month we talking about?
Not much.
Oh, about 2,000, 20,000.
2,000 big dollars at the most. That wouldn't affect.
But that's
that.
township throughout the state.
Oh, yeah, that's the whole state, yeah. I mean, 250 million out of the state highway fund budget is gonna affect something.
Did they talk what's happening about the Ilion Expressway?
No, there's no mention of that. That's what this meeting here is 2040.
Now, this meeting at GSU on May 12th, that's
Yeah.
about discussion about the roads.
Yes, we'll consider all modes of transportation from roads and bridges to bike paths in respect with unique needs of each part of our county.
See, the Ilion Expressway is getting pretty close to being finalized because it's been through all the environmental and historical and just about everything that they've come up with. And so they're in the last stages and I think Bronner has been pulling the money.
And he throws all the funds.
Right, he controls the funds, and so he's possibly throwing the money out of that. So, unfortunately, that means that there'll still be, if that doesn't get passed and that doesn't get built, that means that all the people that are now on the Warman are still going to try to find other ways, which is coming down Monee Township Road, or it's coming down on Highway 1, and it's doing and it's doing a lot of damage in different places.
The village of Elwood's got a mess. That intermodal out there is it's one big traffic jam.
Well, on that note, the trucks coming from, I don't know, Route 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're traveling
South.
west, just traveling west on Creek-Monee Road,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah,
Then
yeah.
they hit the four-way stop sign
They
in the
gotta turn.
center. They see a sign that says trucks over this way,
Yeah.
go left.
Yep.
They go left, supposedly they should go to Pauling Road, right?
Correct.
I've
Turn
seen
right.
some right into Heatherbrook.
No.
I've seen them. So,
You see them going through Heatherbrook?
yes, semi-trucks.
Yeah, because they
Well,
don't
I
know
never
the
seen
route.
that one.
Ah,
They don't know the route.
semi-trucks.
And the GPS that they're following could be wrong, they're not really updated.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, see, the problem with the
And
GPS is a lot of these truckers are using a GPS out of a car.
Yeah.
And that, there's some streets on there that's not even on there.
So
Yeah.
you may want to consider or monitor it, you may want to put a sign. up
Well, yeah,
there that
I'm
says
pretty
no
sure,
trucks.
I'm pretty sure it's
I've seen
posted.
a couple, I know they are allowed certain trucks for construction, right?
They should tell me.
Okay, if it's a house being built.
Yeah, they should tell me,
Okay,
yeah.
but I seen one as recent as a couple days ago. Yeah, they turned.
They probably lost.
Yeah.
They're lost.
Because
Turn those separate
they
roads.
said, they stayed, the guy stayed there for a bit.
Yeah.
Dry Road's the same way when you come to University Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, Dry Road is non-accessible road
Yeah.
for those trucks.
Right.
In fact, coming west on University Parkway, if it's over 16,000, you're not supposed to be on that road.
that's right.
You know,
Length too.
what happens is they turn left going south on State Money Road, then they turn right on Dry, and they're not supposed to be on that road.
Ah.
They're lost. They want to be in an industrial park on Dry Road.
Okay.
governors.
Yeah.
Coming off Route 50.
Yeah, but see, you
Yeah.
don't understand that Raleigh runs differently on the east side of governors than it does on the west side of governors.
And
Because
so-
they follow that GPS.
Well, someone brought up a question of what was that road called? I said Dry Road. They said, no, it's not. And I looked at the sign last night. It's a sign there right there on Will Center, but it's not a sign on Old Monee Road or Stager Monee Road, whatever that road is.
No, it's not.
in Dry.
Yeah, but you,
That's why.
yeah.
And they asked a question, I think, was that you, Dave? Yeah, at the hall, yesterday.
That's Mr. Cross.
Yeah, mistrust.
Mistrusted.
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
they also want to increase the length from 55 to 65 feet. Now, that should be sort of a nightmare too. All roads can accommodate a 65-foot long truck. Goodbye corners. Because the corners aren't going to be long enough for them to, they're going to have to virtually swing all the way out in the other lane of traffic to stay on the road with the trailer. So, that's going to come up for a vote here too pretty soon.
So that comes up in the state legislature?
Yeah,
then?
yeah. So it keeps getting interesting.
Yeah,
Any more
I'm
talk
trying to get to
about
that
aqua
meeting on the May 12th.
Well, the aqua pipeline, yeah, but that's, I haven't heard anything last couple of days. I got one letter from a resident, gave me a copy. I shared that with Joe. And I haven't heard anything. They're gonna have a meeting the 21st of April down in Chicago to get eminent domain powers.
Wow.
And so I don't know what's up with that.
So it looks as if
I'm sure I'll be the last to know.
it's a 24-inch
Yeah,
pipeline, and you said that Mantino shot it down in Piedmont?
well, Peatone, they're not part of it. They didn't want to be part of it.
So what was the purpose? They was gonna tap off the Kankakee River and go all the way to UP?
Yeah, that's what they, yeah.
To UP.
Yeah.
So I brought this up in one of my finance meetings for the school board, and we are adding an addition to our middle school in UP to accommodate about 400 more students, sixth graders, all sixth graders. So that's going to increase the water volume, definitely decrease the water usage in Creek. So I kind of mentioned that University Park is looking to tap off. You guys have well water right now, right? University Park, just like Monee.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Quality-wise, I don't think it's the best.
They don't drink it inside the middle school.
Yeah.
They drink it.
I don't know.
No, they don't.
They don't?
Not since last time I've been there.
Bottled water?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the water faucet damage.
Yeah, so that's, no,
You won't see the kids drink.
All right, do we have anything more for David?
yeah, good.
So as soon as you find out more about that, David, that pipeline, because I think did you not say you wanted, did we want a resolution or something on that to say no? What's the closure on that for us, from us?
I
Nothing
think
for
that,
us, it's David's.
that we'll have to just, I'm thinking, I'm sure I'll be the last to know, but what their plans are, they're trying to get right-of-way bought from the residents.
Okay.
And they're claiming that then they can put it down in the township road ditch, which is sort of a question there on that. That's news to me that you could do something like that. But, so we'll have to see what happens with that one. I'll probably be doing a lot of talking to Joe on this one.
Did they say on which side? Which side?
No, I don't know which side.
Which side? Okay.
Hey, they're still discussing.
But they're gonna do tree damage in there, they're gonna do everything in there.
Okay.
Well, I did hear from the fire chief, he said he wants to put a hydrant up. Fire hydrant. So anyhow,
That's just Monee.
yeah, down by Heatherbrook. Heatherbrook Trail.
Okay.
Okay, well, David, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Assessor's report, she is not here, she didn't leave one, so we will go on into attorney's report.
Nothing unusual.
Okay. Standing committees, we haven't had a plan commission meeting for, can't tell you how long. And, all right, let's go into new business. We have a a cleaning contract for the TFH cleaning service for Sandra's offices. I had put a little bit of copy of last year's contract, and then comparing this year's contract to last year's contract, I think it was only a $240 increase, and if I remember, my memory serves me right, there was no increase last year, so it's been 2 years since they've had an increase, so I'm pretty sure that that doesn't sound like it's overly much, but it's up to the board. Is there a motion to approve the contract to CFH Cleaning Services that run April 1st, 2015 to March 31st, 2016?
So,
Moved by James, is there a second? Second by Debbie. Yes.
You know, I didn't catch when I read through that. Who's cleaning the washroom? We had a lot of discussion on the washroom.
Well, apparently it's not a problem
That's not-
anymore because she hasn't brought it up again.
Okay,
And,
but is
so-
that person
she's the one
responsible?
in the building, so.
Yeah, they have the
Health department.
health department moved out.
Okay.
They are?
Right. So she's the only one in there, so,
Wow.
you know.
They're relocating to Monee.
Yeah. They relocated to Monee.
I don't think they have yet, but they are going to relocate to Monee,
Where?
over there by the bank.
Really? That has to be.
And she still has here, and it was okay, this was okay with Sandra, to clean and sanitize bathrooms weekly.
Okay.
So,
Weekly.
you know, and, you know, Sandra did have cleaning supplies and everything, so they felt there was a problem. They, you know, they were supposed to be addressing it with, University Park, I believe, and we don't know if we got much further with that. But that's about where we are with that.
They go into a public washroom, it's clean weekly.
Anyway, there is a first, it's been moved and seconded. If there's no further discussion, is there a roll call vote, please?
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Badger.
Yes. Okay, a couple line item transfers. We have, that were the ending of this last year. We have a general town budget, so this is from 320 through 331. Taking it from contingencies, line number 5195. We're giving 9232 to 5055 travel expense, 3474 to 5159 bottled water, and 31972 to 5580 miscellaneous service, for a total of $446.78. And then that will bring all those line items current. Is there a motion, please? Moved by Debbie. Second by Terry. Any discussion? Roll call, please. You can type up.
Is there discussion, roll call?
How's it?
No discussion.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Badger.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you if you can sign this down. I don't know.
Go ahead, sign it.
Date it there.
Well,
I say that period.
I noticed how she looked at you.
That's why they look back.
The next one is the assessor's budget. And again, from her budget, 5195 contingencies, $10 to 5015 unemployment tax, and $70 to 5110 for the telephone, and that will bring those into compliance for the 2331 budget. So it's a 320 to 331 budget. Is there a motion? Moved by Debbie, second? Second. Terry, any further discussion?
No.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bowles,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
Supervisor Denver.
Yes. Moving into old business, we did not get our report from the Will Ride. That the PACE hadn't gotten the information to Will County, so I guess next month we will have that.
Double whammy.
Right. Illinois Flames Track Club,
They will be reporting next month. They did obtain their 501, and it just needs a little bit more on the budget.
well, yeah, I did mention their budget because I went through the stuff that they had put in last year in about October, November when they came. And the budget is a 2014 budget. I've asked them to update their 2015 budget. And what they gave us was not really a budget. They gave us a list of expenses. So I've asked that also I want a list of the income. I want it to show income and expenses so that we have a little chance to look at something. So that is what I've asked for from them, besides a copy of their Bible.
Okay, they will be here next month.
All right, with a little bit, keep that. All right, then let's go into project reports, the youth committee. The GSU report was on the table. We're showing that on March 29th, they had 64 people show up.
I don't know, I think it was 1 week, they had like 300 people.
It seemed like.
Wait, I thought maybe that was the first, right, the week before Easter, but that's the 29th.
Right, that was the 20th. That was
Oh, my
64
God.
then. You had 74 on the 22nd, 54
Oh, my goodness.
on the 15th.
Yeah.
The most you had was on the 1st of March at,
According to the people that signed in.
yeah.
Right. I could have sworn it was like 300 people.
It wasn't.
I'm like, okay,
You just seemed like.
299.
Okay.
Done.
But,
All right.
Good, things is happening well, and
Any,
I did communicate with them. They have a back for a meeting, so I'm looking at that meeting according to our minutes a couple months ago
Right.
by April.
I think last month we need to talk to them about, what?
Jeff?
Did we skip computers? Where was that?
Now, it should have been under other issues with new business.
Yeah.
I thought you was gonna put it up under.
Issues,
Well, we
yeah.
always say
I didn't forget you, Jeff.
the best for last.
I thought
We
maybe.
want you to see a whole meeting
Well,
here.
somehow he got taken off. He was under new business.
We don't want
Although
you to
he was
hit it
under
wrong.
old business. He was
Yeah.
under old business, and I don't know how he got taken off there, but it was computer issues. We are going to go back to old business and add other issues, computers, that we talked about last month about,
I thought Will was doing sign language.
I'm like, okay, you're right, because it's not there. But I thought it must have gotten taken off accidentally,
I thought Jeff was supposed to talk to us.
But anyway, last month, we talked about how our computers that we have for the public use are obsolete. And you had mentioned, did we need a server? And so we had to ask some questions that we asked. Jeff was to come and talk to us, and I talked to him on the phone a little bit, and give us some direction as to the way we might go to upgrade. Now, we don't have a lot of use with our public. We do have people come in and look for job searches. Some people don't have computers at home, they use them. I've never seen more than 1 or 2 people here at a time. So anyway, Jeff, you want to kind of explain your little schematic here that you put in here?
Yeah, I do have a comment real quick before you start. I don't see my name. I see Willa, Dave,
You don't have a computer.
Bobby, and Don. Just one trustee, just one.
Do you have a computer, trustee Brown?
That's what I would like for you to get from me.
Okay.
Get no respect. Think about that in your
Go
budget.
ahead,
I hope I
Jeff.
am inclusive in that, but,
No, we're talking just the computers that are here.
That's what I mean. Well, so, partly the way this topic originated from my perspective was to look at the viability of using computers that the assessor's office had available. And we deemed that those machines were just not commercially feasible for use. Too old, outdated operating system would not be effective. We also then looked at these machines here, inspected them, and the assessment is largely the same. They're too old, they have outdated operating systems on them, which in today's world creates quite a security risk because of cyber attacks all over the planet. So they would not be worthy of investing money in our professional opinion, whatsoever. They're at least 2 operating systems old. So we looked at the investment needs for PCs that patrons can use. Now, my organization deals with public libraries, and there is quite a sincere effort in public libraries when you have patrons walking in the door to use computers to make sure that the session that the person works at the computer, when they leave it, it's erased, so their personal data is gone in case they were to log on to any site. So that's a big deal. And also, in an environment like this, we have one network. All the computers are on the same roadway, if you will. So if we make an effort to implement new computers for patrons, I think we have a couple of duties to think about. One is privacy and security, and another one is protecting the township assets. So wouldn't want all those machines to live on the same network or the same street, so to speak, because our township data would be coexisting with patron data. Despite the fact that there would be passwords and things like that, it's still not a best practice. So I put together some numbers, which is represented in the top center box of this paper. The picture is something that we could talk about if you feel the need, or if you want to look at it and talk about it after the meeting at any time in the future. But the centermost box at the top of the page, where it says recommended upgrades, are based on discussions that I had with Will Simmons and Supervisor Detmer. So what we've priced out here from a budgetary perspective is 2 patron PCs fully outfitted with what we think would be something that a patron would want when they walk in here. Internet access and Microsoft Office is sort of what everybody wants. And some standardized free software like Adobe that you may be familiar with on your own computers. I also incorporated then some protection software that is standardly used in the library market because it's a really good model, whereby it would keep the patron machines only protected so that when someone used them and logged off and walked away, the machine, all the data would be wiped. Secondly, if someone were to install software while they're using the computer or in any way alter it by simply turning it off and turning it on, the technology, the security technology, would revert the machine back to the way it was when they walked in the door. So that would be a good proactive way to reduce administrative overhead down the road. So somebody like a computer company would have to be called in to fix things as much. So that budgetary number for those 2 computers and all the equipment is this $5,897. There is one component in here that is depicted in the drawing that is lacking in this building that I think you should seriously consider. And that is, we have internet coming in to this building. So if you refer to this drawing, we have internet coming in here and it goes into our internet gateway, whether that's DSL modem or whatever the device is called. And then it goes directly to our PCs, which has been viable for the township. But if we were to look at modifying what we have here in today's world, in the state of the globe, we would really want to segregate patron PCs from our assets of the township. And that would require a different device, which is depicted by this drawing that looks like a brick wall. It's a drawing that we commonly use in our business for a firewall. Firewall would give us a little bit added protection from the device that pre-exists, but moreover, would segregate these 2 networks, these 2 little networks, so that the machines live on a different street, if you will. And the 2 cannot coexist. And that really is a best practice that I think would be wise for us as stewards of having automation here, and also to keep the machines in good working health and not interrupt the other machines in use here, like Ms. Simmons, Mr. Deutsch, Mr. Lathan, and Ms. Detmar's machines that already are here. So this appliance, which is depicted by the red brick wall, is incorporated in that topmost box and incorporated in that $5,897 budgetary price.
So let me ask you a quick question. So the $797 is for that firewall and the
Right.
segregation, and also the security implementation, and it's 2,400. So that's $797 and 2,400 are basically all the firewall things.
No, the items up above, I do see some typos in there in putting this together this afternoon. So the 2,400 is twice, but it is not added twice. The first item is number 1, 2, and 3, 4. The 2,200, 4,000, the 100, and the 797 are all goods.
You mean 400?
400, right? That's all.
Thank you.
Right, that's-
2,200, 400, 100, and 797, thank you, are all goods. That's equipment or software. The $2,400 is professional services to make it all work.
Everything together then. And so that's a total of 5,897. Now this is, as you explained to me earlier, does not include a server.
That's correct. However, there's a small little line item under there that I want to add to and call to your attention, this $12 monthly offset. Today, on the primary computer here that's used by Ms. Simmons, there is a device that she can back up her data for protection, a USB drive, which is depicted in the drawing underneath her computer. But there is a way for, as you can see, $12 a month, which is very low cost, to simultaneously or additionally push that data off-site to a secure location. I offer it as good consideration. $12 a month is not a lot, and it would give us a second backup of the data should there be a natural disaster like a fire or a tornado or water damage or something like that. So that I put underneath it because that's a monthly recurring expense if you chose to do that. And we assume that there is a backup here that's working. Everybody who has backups on their equipment should test that from time to time. So we'll say that we do have a data backup here, but it's resident. So I added that line item since we're having this discussion for your consideration, because it's a wise idea, and it's not a huge investment.
Bobby, let me ask you a question. On your computer, do you have a backup system that you back up to? Because I think you keep, minutes and what type of information you keep on your computer?
I actually use the flash drive mostly to keep it on, so the minutes aren't pretty.
Okay, so,
There's some on there, but not all of them.
okay. But down for what you're keeping for your files for posterity that, we have to keep because it was long or
I'm
whatever.
actually printing them out too, so they have hard copies instead of.
So you wouldn't necessarily need that to be backed up on a regular basis then, huh?
I would say probably not at this time, because I'm actually using hard copies, so I have paper copies.
Can I ask you a question? Do you, whatever you have on your flash drive, do you also leave the copy resident on your computer here when you work here?
No.
That might be one way, because then in effect you would have a backup, because your backup is you're carrying it around with you. So if you're working here and the computer's secure.
Well, I did, and I probably have to make some changes because when we had the meeting, the USB drive that I have, they say it's not good, so, because they're not really secure. I keep it with me pretty much all the times. So there may be some changes in what I do as far as that go. But I always, once the minutes are approved, I have a hard copy.
And that goes into a
I have a printed copy, so I take a copy of the minutes.
Okay.
I would be really concerned, I believe, maybe your computers, you have personal, I would imagine, personal information of people like GSA or GA, people that has personal social security numbers.
No.
You do not.
Mhm.
You do not get that information.
You do not put it on the computer. You don't have that information on the computer. our applications are paper applications,
Okay.
and we
So
keep them in
do
the
not
file.
document that
No.
electronically.
So they could be off-site. I mean, what we have are basically the financial records and that, which we try to keep. That would be the only thing that we'd have a real problem with if we lost.
Financial information, so there's no personal information where the thieves, cyber thieves could obtain from us illegally.
See, and the ones on my computers, I do basically Microsoft Word documents and occasionally an Excel document when I'm, working on budgets and doing things like that. But the most part is Willa has all the master copies of them all. So.
Okay.
All right, my question is, we know that the patron computers are old and need to be replaced.
So,
What about Willa and Donna's?
we just upgraded ours last year on Jeff's recommendation because mine had mine, in fact, mine was sitting over there now to be used by patrons, has the old XP operating system, which is no longer supported. And Willa's, and I think David's just got, we all just, the three of us in the body had just updated his too. But we are all updated right now, so we're fine. We're just need patron updates, and then Jeff is going to also talk to us a little bit about a server. So if you want to go ahead with that.
Wait a minute. Now, you said that your computer is about to,
My computer's fine that I have in my office. My old computer is the one that's being used by patrons out here
okay,
also.
and that's one of the ones we're gonna replace?
Right.
Okay, all right.
See, we actually have 4 very, very, very old ones that are, as he said, 2 or 3 operating systems ago. And then mine out here, which is at least an XP, which is 1 operating system ago, and which isn't viable because for safety or anything. So basically, they've all got to, they've all got to
Okay,
go.
when you said mine, you're not talking about the one that's in your office, you're
No,
talking about
no, I'm
previous.
talking about the old
Okay.
one. I used to, then when I put the new one in my office, I put it out here for other people to use.
So we're talking about replacing the monitors as well?
I'm going to suggest purchasing an all-in-one device, similar to an Apple computer, but a Windows machine, which I think is more mainstream for people's use. Dell sells an all-in-one
You talking
device.
about a laptop?
No,
No,
it's just
we're
like
not
a
doing that.
TV screen with a
Everything's in one.
an LED screen with a keyboard,
Okay.
and it is an
And a
all-in-one
mouse.
computer all-in-one.
And that's all, the monitors are figured in the price.
Right.
Right, okay. Yeah, because our monitors are old, and as Willa said, sometimes old monitors don't sustain the new programs. So we probably have to do that.
And these are 2015 models.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, it would be, not yet manufactured as we speak. But yeah, the latest state-of-the-art equipment.
You want to talk about the need for a server, and if there is one, and then do have a dollar figure?
Sure. So in our environment here, which is not super uncommon in small environments, all these 4 machines that are used today are little islands on our network. So if they don't need to share resources, that's okay. We do encumber the burden of data backup. So for example, this discussion that we had briefly with Mr. Lathan, if he has data on a removable device and it also resides on the computer, well, there's a form of backup, and it's offsite. But his machine doesn't really share files with Ms. Simmons' computer. So if she's working on a document, she might have to email it to him for convenience or use another memory stick to transfer the data. So a server would link those machines together and provide a central repository to share resources, stuff, files, printers, antivirus software, things like that. So what I did was I put together a budgetary number, which is depicted in the upper right-hand corner, for a low-cost server and the implementation of it. And in today's world, we can purchase servers rather inexpensively for even around $800. But to add the Windows licensing, the proper legal licensing, that does get that server up to a $2,200 price for just the goods. And that is, really good price point for a business or an organization, an entity of this size. The details here are, however, that In order to properly implement it, we have to tell these 4 machines that they now belong together. And so I have 2 implementation line items there, which is partly for us to think through our process on how we're going to go to work and do the work, but moreover price it. And those 2 implementation processes are $1,200 to make the machines, all be co-joined to the server, and then another $4,500 to really make the server be what it's supposed to be, to share the stuff, to share the files, to share printers, and that sort of thing. So that brings a budgetary price for the server implementation by itself, but all in at the roughly $7,900 investment.
See, I'm still having a problem with the need for a server because, David, let me ask you a quick question before you go. Your computer you use basically for some documentation, and do you have a printer that you use, or do you?
Yeah.
And you have a
I got
printer?
trouble getting it.
Right.
I still haven't figured it out how to get stuff to print off.
Okay, well, we'll have to work with that.
Yeah.
I actually have a computer with a little printer, and so does you. So, I mean, we really haven't had a need that we've had to coordinate between computers. Because, Willa does mostly everything on hers that's necessary for the financials and everything like that. What David does on his and what I do on mine are not necessarily things that, we would have to, that we would have to conjoin. If I do a document that I want to make sure that Willa has, then I either print it out myself and give it to her, and she can scan it to whoever I want it sent to. Or if need be, then I'll say, okay, I've left the document on my machine, and she'll get a USB port, and then, she has it that way. And that way, I'm just wondering if it's really necessary. I mean,
Those computers that we have, like you have in your office, you can't print to this printer right here
We could engineer that, yes.
without the server.
Yes.
but I have my own little printer, so I
But
don't
if the
need.
need, like Dave said, he can't figure out how to do this printer, so if.
I use a
if he's-
fax machine.
Huh?
My printer's a fax machine.
Okay, so just say for instance down one day, can Dave from his printer print to that machine right there?
If it was properly engineered, yes.
Okay.
And we could do that, David. If you can't figure out, maybe Willa help you with the, have Willa help you with that, with the printer, and if that can't be done, then, he can configure your computer so it will print out of that main computer, the printer there.
Or fix it so that he can print to his own printer.
Right.
Yes. Sometimes that is a hassle.
Right. But so I'm just saying, I'm not certain unless, because of the way our operation works right now, we're kind of individual, but we're not sharing. I mean, it's not like we're really sharing much of anything. Is that $7,900 an expense that we want to do? Is there any other pros for it that you can give us, or cons, or whatever?
Well, if you're especially sharing files, then a server is a really good idea, especially for, a governmental agency, professional organization, a viable entity. There are ways to share files with other devices that are cheaper, but it's not really a good idea. If we don't have the reason to share files a lot, or other resources like a centralized printer a lot, then you could weigh the odds about what your workload and your work process is, and it would sort of deflect back to say, let's talk about us some more. It's definitely not a must-have, but it's a solid way to do things. If we implemented a server, then this backup number, this $12 a month budgetary number, we wouldn't see that changing. We would just move that resource to, running from here instead of from Willa's machine. So it's all about sharing on a network, two people sharing resources, files mostly, and the ease of that.
Bobby, you don't really, other than that, when you're doing your minutes, then you're sending an email to Willa with your copies of your draft minutes and your minutes that then she will send to my email address also, that I can, you know, pre-read them and everything, and, you know, see if there's any major errors in that. And David, there's usually not much that you ever give to Willa, or share files of any kind. And the ones I do are few and far between, because most of the time it's easy to, you know, I do a lot of my own things and can take care of it myself. It's not something that we would be necessarily needing to share or any further that I know of.
I mean, we do work with other townships, and they all do have servers and networks, but there's a larger user base and more full-time users there. So these are the judgments you have to think about.
I think if I had, you know, 2 people in the office and they all had to work, and, you know, we all had to bring up the same information that Willa needs to look at all the time, then I would say, yeah, we probably would need a server. I've just not seen that need. I mean, people jump in. Do you think there's a need for a server?
I don't know. The only thing I could maybe see us having a server is something happens, say that I may not be here or something, and then Donna may have to go in and do the finances, the QuickBooks, and then she could have access to all the files will be on the server for the QuickBooks.
But actually, the way it is now, I can just go to her computer and log into her computer and
So,
access her computer from.
You be having a server you kick out with you and your password.
No, I mean, now I do have access. I mean, I can go to Will's computer and access it, and, you know, of course, I wouldn't know what the hell to do with those files that she's talking about, but,
Yeah, you know, I mean, we're happy to install whatever equipment is needed. If I could think of an analogy, our firm writes a lot of software, and sometimes when people write a customized program, they try to think of everything they would use it for when they should really focus on what they need today. So what I'm hearing, one thing that I'm hearing, just as a third party, is maybe we don't really need it today. We can always put one in 6 months. So, an observation.
so if we ever got to the point where I actually had 2 Wills, or a Will and a half, where they both, you know, work somehow with the finances and that, then that would probably be something that we would need, because then they would have to be able to get in and share information. But I myself at this time think that I'd like to go with all this other stuff. You know, I think the firewall is an excellent idea, because there's too much stuff in the world that people can come in and get in any place. And as you said, if we're going to add in these 2 patron computers, then what it does is that it separates that. There's no way at all that they could get into what, you know, any of these other computers are doing at all. So I like that idea. So to me, this first section is fine. I'm just really not certain about that.
So on that note, between the internet and the firewall, so we would rid ourselves, from what I understand, of the internet service if we go down the road of the firewall. Is that correct?
No, it would be an added tool
It'd be added to.
for ingress and egress of stuff, of data.
So we still need the internet signal.
Yeah.
So that's, okay.
It's
This
a
is
little
just,
bit, it's a
that's
little
just
bit,
a protection.
Yeah,
Firewall
that's
is
what I'm
like a
confused about.
protection.
It's a little bit like-
For security.
And we would pay a monthly fee additionally for that protection.
Not that, just,
It's
that's just the backup is the monthly fee for $12.
Okay, so that's just a one-time shot for the
Yeah.
firewall. That's a hardware.
yes, and let me clarify, thank you for bringing that up,
Okay.
Trustee Brown. There are annual consumables for 2 line items here. The $100 for Onyx deep freeze and the $797 firewall. Those annual consumables are services that get renewed each year to keep them, you know, with the best protection on. They're about 10 to 20% of their cost yearly. So we would add that, and we want to factor that into our price.
It's about $900 a year.
So then,
No, if we take that $797, I want to say that it's about $150 or $200 a year.
Oh,
Got it.
10% of both
Okay.
the, says the
Right.
800 and the $900.
It's like antivirus software, it keeps the
Okay.
the
That's
system's
doable,
running
you
the
know,
right way.
It was about 10% of that.
Mhm.
To give us a better, there's so much, so many people that are hacking into everything, and this just gives us that extra protection against that. Isn't that what you're saying?
It does in a big way. I mean, it's, the internet that we have coming in here is sort of like that doorway. And currently, we have a door, we have a lock on it, and people can come in when they're a friend. The firewall is like putting a metal detector there, so we can see a little bit more on what's on their person if they walk in the door, if they have metal. Likewise, the firewall says, well, I'll inspect what's coming in and out a little bit more. Look for viruses, look for threats, and stop them.
Is it McAfee or
This product that I would recommend is Sonic Wall.
Sonic Wall?
And then it also has the added benefit of segregating these networks so that once something's coming in the door on the network, the machines for the patrons are segregated from our business machines.
Now, does it scan periodically?
Oh, everything that comes through it, it's looking
It's
at
a
it
scan.
in
Okay.
real time.
Which is good, because we've had some trouble in the past with our machines being infected. I know we've had a couple times that we've had to have, I believe you clean out the machine, doesn't it? Do you agree?
Yeah, I think David's machine was infected once.
Right, so I think that would be very helpful.
What is Veronix?
Phoronix is a brand name of a product out of a company out of Vancouver. And it is one of probably 3 industry standard products that are used that do this in, like I mentioned, public libraries or public kiosks, hotels, convention centers, things like that, where you want to either limit the person's experience. If I go to a hotel, typically they'll have a certain number of things I can do, and that's it at the shared resource. So it can limit their experience, and it can also, again, by turning it off and on, it reverts it to just the way that it was the day before, or the moment before it was turned off and on.
Which is a good idea, and that way nobody's losing any of their personal information if they were doing anything personal on the computer. So that's a very good idea, which I hadn't thought about before either. Well, we can't do any voting on it tonight. We'll have to put it on the agenda for next month. I just wanted Jeff to give us a full explanation of everything. I mean, do you guys need any more information from Jeff?
I think, we don't have to go on, but we need, I think, somewhat of a consensus if we're gonna bring it back as an action item to go on.
Well, we'll have more time to discuss it next month, too.
And then maybe the following.
Well, you can do whatever you want.
But I'm just
Usually,
saying, if we're looking to do this, I don't know if we got.
that's why we got Jeff here to give us as much information as
Okay.
possible. If you have any ideas, because then next month it'd be on there as an action item, which was still discussion on that action item.
Okay.
So,
And we can vote if
it's not a
need be.
problem. I just don't know, do you want us to bring back and put the server on there as a possibility, which,
Given, in my opinion, this is me, just given that we do not have a lot of personal information that we're storing and all of that, I don't know if the server would be a good thing to have right at this point.
okay, well then
That's just me.
that's me too. How about James, what do you think?
I feel the same way, but just for different reasons. But I think the key to this is that Jeff said that we can always get it if we need it.
Sure.
I mean, so it's not like, we just trash an idea.
Right.
If the workload becomes of a nature
And then
where we
sharing
need
files
it,
and all
then
that.
he said we can still get it.
Right.
So it's not.
And it might be something that, this year we take this budget, out of this budget, the next year we do the next, so.
And another thing, I see 2 prices here, and I believe our policy said that we have to bid out $5,000, I believe, I don't know.
No, we don't have that policy.
I think we do.
No, it says we have to go out for bid on something that is $20,000.
Whatever that is.
But it's not like we don't, it's not like we don't know him and he's been doing our computer work.
No, that doesn't make that, I don't think that's the issue. It's just what the law says.
No, law is $20,000.
Well, that's what I said. Okay, I didn't know what that number, I know it was a number.
It used to be 10.
Professional services.
It is different.
This
I
is
mean,
considered a professional service, so
I
more or
don't think
less,
so.
right?
The portions
No,
are
I
split.
think it's lawyers and architects and things like that, but you consider this I mean, I'm down on you, you are a professional, but I'm saying, you know, how the law looks at it, because,
I consider professional services now, the hardware may not be.
okay,
It's not just lawyers and architects.
Understood.
Accountants.
Especially the information and knowing what to do and everything is professional service. Yeah, I would say the majority of that bid is probably professional service, so.
Yeah, there are line items on here that indicate that where I put implementation, those fall into that category.
Right, so. Okay, good. Well, we have a good idea. I will bring this back and for the agenda and only with the 2 computers and with the firewall and all the other stuff here. And for right now, we'll put the server and keep that in mind so that maybe if we ever grow and somehow we add $100,000 and we can have another person, then we will, and we can always add that.
One more question. Do we have a 501c3 corporation here that we can purchase through properly and legally?
Well, we don't have a 501(c)(3) as it, but we are tax exempt that you could purchase through
Okay.
and not be paid taxes on it.
Okay. No, there are ways to purchase some goods at almost gift prices, but it does require a 501c3 organization. So we're not that. Okay.
Yeah, we're not that. We just have state exemption for, taxes in general and that.
Any of this equipment available in the state of Illinois where we get a tax exempt benefit?
Well, I guess I'm not quite sure how to answer the question. It would be tax exempt by virtue of the status of the township. So there's no sales tax. But were you thinking of something else?
No, what I'm thinking is that if you purchase the equipment in Arizona, Colorado, would that tax exempt status still hold?
Yes, because the sales tax is the obligation of the recipient in the state that they reside. So for example, if I purchase equipment on your behalf and you reside in the state of Illinois, you're obligated to pay sales tax in the state of Illinois. If I purchase equipment on your behalf and you live in Indiana, you are therefore obligated to pay the sales tax in Indiana if you are a taxable entity.
I just see that as being some type of conflict there. That just don't seem right to me, that we are asking for a service to be provided to us under contract, but yet we're going out and say we want to purchase some equipment to aid in that service. It just seems like it's just crossing
We're
the
not
line.
purchasing, he is purchasing this because he purchased for a township, he can ask for the tax exempt from the company he's buying from.
Yeah, Township would never pay
I
sales tax.
understand
we're
this,
not
and I mean,
involved.
that's just, we have services all the time, government entities provide, get service from outside contractors, whatever. I just never seen that tax exempt status applied to the person that's providing the services to that government entity.
Oh, yeah,
It just seems
that's
that-
true. It's just,
It's just this trying to walk on water there a little bit here.
no, the township is tax exempt, there would be no sales tax.
Yeah, so I would just feel comfortable, and again, Joe can chime in, that we ask for your service, you give us a bid, we accept the bid, and you take care of all the things, and we pay you as such.
And that's exactly what happens, we don't worry about
Right.
anything, and we are billed, and he's saying though that he can be billed because the way that he can set it up, that he can, be billed because he is buying it for a
If
township.
that's what, on the outside, if that's how he so chooses, but I don't think we should have any involvement.
We don't have.
Even to the point of saving some money?
I mean, you can save a lot of money illegally,
But if
but
we're
that's not
tax
the reason.
exempt,
I just,
Yeah,
These
never
numbers
seen it
reflect
like that.
no sales tax.
I just know that
yeah,
we
as long as they
won't, it's
reflect
not,
themselves.
I just never
Okay.
seen it like
Yeah.
that.
right, but it's, this is his, basically his bid for us, so that's what we'll see the
Yeah.
numbers that are on the.
You want to get reductions and
next year.
deductions, all of that out there.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
not, we're looking with the bid.
And
That's why I got Joe
if
sitting next to
if
you.
you want to share those savings with us, that's fine.
Okay, we will have this on the agenda next time. Jeff, thank you very much. We appreciate all the input on that. Okay, now let's go back to, we had the GSU report, and we were starting to talk about that you were gonna set up a meeting with GSU and trying to do that. And at the same time, have you had any type of input or talking to the Monee people about the possibility, if we can't do something with GSU, of doing something with the school district?
Yeah, the door's open, you know, the door's open. And they will do whatever they could to accommodate.
Okay, and then we'll probably, as you'll have to give us more information, and once we find out, so we know kind of the fees, and because I know you have to pay for janitorial space and, you know, time and things like that, so.
High school?
You know, no, junior high, we're probably looking at the middle school. We need it in Monee Township, so it'll be the middle school or Prescott King.
But all they got is a gym.
That's
Yeah,
all anybody
that's
has.
all anybody has, we're not
You
gonna
got
have.
a weight room with the, well, okay, but it's not. in
We
Monee
are not
Township.
gonna have the same facilities we had at GSU, that's just not.
I was just thinking about the weight room, but it's not. in
And
Monee Township.
I'm just hoping and that GSU will still be the source.
Yeah.
But they kind of said it was probably, we
Yes.
weren't gonna have it, so we
Hopefully I'll
have
have
to.
an answer by the end of this month.
Okay, great. All right, James Young on the National Youth Project using mini bikes.
Yes. Next Tuesday, the library is going to pick the surveyor to do the survey of the land. The prices went up because the price that was initially quoted was only for the township library, which had previously been surveyed, but they was going to re-identify the boundaries. But now, since our focus is on the library, because the space may need to be more accommodating, and it would make sense to have the mini bikes there, since the literacy program's going to be there. I missed the month of March board meeting. It was my understanding the board of the University Park Public Library approved $1,200
For the survey?
for the survey, because this is a new survey. So they're gonna finalize it Tuesday. So that's the first part. We'll be able to identify all the land to the north and to the west that is owned by the University Park Public Library. Okay, we know the space to the south is too small because of the hedges that's on the boundaries of the library property. But we're not clear, and the geographical description is not easily readable by a layman. So the surveyor is going to properly identify the boundaries to the north and to the west. So we'll know. So that's part of it. The other part is that I still have not heard from Ms. Keller. Since the last time I spoke to her, I sent her an email. So that's still up in the air. So I need to follow up on that part. But we still got 2 months before the literacy program starts in University Park. So that's where I'm at this.
Okay, well,
That's
keep
where I'm.
keep it on, and we'll go from there. Okay, anything on more going green, right?
No.
Okay, we're going to be sending 2 audit sheets around. We're going to go into trustee audit of accounts. We've got an audit of accounts for March 20th, 2015 through March 31st, 2015 for the amount of $43,300.47 that was spent between 5 funds. Get that started. While we're doing that one, we're going to have to vote on each one separately. Is there a motion to approve the audit of accounts from March 20th, 2015 through March 31st, 2015? Okay, moved by Marie. Is there a second? Second. Second by Debbie. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Trustee Rogers?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Burgess?
Yes.
Trustee Young?
Yes.
Supervisor Everett?
Yes. There's another disbursement of accounts from April 1st through April 16th. It is a revised one that was on the table tonight because we had to add in a couple checks at the last minute that were paid for the senior event that we hadn't received before. So we will have to redo the account. So it's a total of $40,597.02. And we'll need the signatures on that. Is there a motion to approve the audit of accounts for April 1st, 2015 through April 16th, 2015? Moved by Terry,
Second.
second by Maurice. Any discussion? Roll call vote then.
Trustee Gold,
Yes.
trustee Brown, trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Everett.
Yes. Okay, any board comments?
Just want to thank everybody for their support. Those who voted for me, those who did not vote for me, either way, that it was just the right to go out and vote. A lot of hard work on both sides of the fence, and glad I made it through it in one piece. So thank you.
Glad you were elected.
And I'm still married. That's the biggest challenge I ever had in my life, to keep my marriage in place. I can do anything to keep my marriage in place if I don't do that.
Right. Okay, anybody else? All right, seeing none then, there is a motion to adjourn. By Debbie?
Second.
And Maurice? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Gold,
Yes.
trustee Brown,
Yes.
trustee Burgess,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
supervisor Everett.
Yes.
Get out of here, Tony.
All right.